It is Florida fall gardening time, and I need to do a lot of cleanup and prep before I get going on doing seeds and starts. But I'm like really behind on doing seeds and starts, so I got to get a lot of stuff done today if I have time. So today, if you're needing some inspiration to do some perspiration and hit your garden, what we're gonna be doing today is just really trying to get this mess under control. I'm gonna be really focused on the vegetable garden areas because I need to get seeds in like yesterday, honestly. So let's get going. Let's just get going. So I got rained on, so we had to take a pause, but we're back into it, ready to go start cleaning up this garden. So the first thing I'm going to do is work on the middle vegetable garden bed. What I'm going to be doing is a couple things. I'm going to be pruning some of the pepper plants, and then I'm going to also be pulling weeds. I got a bucket for my weeds. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do with them. Really what's on my mind right now is I'm going to just burn them, but I'm open to ideas. Let me know down below. You can see in the pepper bed, there's a lot of sunshine mimosa. This is the vast majority of the greenery you see, but there are a bunch of different weeds that I really don't want to be here. Plus, I am feeling more and more confident about pruning my pepper plants. I was hanging out with some friends the other day. One of their birthdays, Eliana, and her mom, Maggie, and Maggie said she gives her peppers really good and hard haircuts, which is funny. And she had peppers that lived up to 6 to 7 years. So it made me feel much better about giving them all a little bit of snip. So let's get going on that. Fresh basil. Yeah, I hope you're right. I'm giving them a hard proof. So if it looks like I'm pulling up sunshine mimosa right now, this is not sunshine mimosa. This is, I don't know what this is. It's probably, my guess, some nitrogen fixing type plant, but the easy way, even though it has like a very similar, here, I'll grab some sunshine. Has a very similar kind of leaf structure as a sunshine mimosa. This is sunshine mimosa. You can see the leaves are a lot broader, but one of the easiest ways to tell that this is the weed is the underside. And you can see there are all these little seed pods underneath. Yeah, I'm sure it's like nitrogen fixing or something. That's probably really good, but I don't want this all over. So, bye. I do have this weed in there. That's this native wood sorrel, native yellow wood sorrel. This is the one that has the pods that I'm less fan of, but I will leave it in there because the flowers are good for the bees. And while I find the seeds very annoying because they explode everywhere on me, I'll leave them for now. So I'm doing a very hard prune on my eggplant also. It keeps putting on growth. The challenge it's having is the tree up above. I pruned it back slightly already, but I need to prune it back more. Mr. Cliff did say he'd help me, but I don't know, he might be busy. So I'm gonna probably just prune it again myself and I'm really trying to, because this tree, was looking back at some really old video of my property, and I was like, wow, that tree has gone absolutely bananas. The tree is like 5 years old, which means hopefully next year it actually blossoms and blooms. But it's still putting on lots of height every year. It also makes a very full canopy every year. So I'm hoping if I can continue to train it to like go up, 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 then we're just gonna have this great, gorgeous canopy that provides shade, especially during the summer months, and some protection during the winter months, but is gonna be just gorgeous later. I need to invest in some tools, especially now that we're getting rid of all the grass. And we talked to some other neighbors about a different person to mow the backyard that already mows like Tara and Ryan's, Kim and Shane's yard, and then like a couple other neighbors on our street and another street. And it'll be a significant savings, even if they charge us the same as what they were charging them for a whole yard. But maybe we can cut a deal because it's literally just the backyard. And with that savings, I can go invest in a little bit of equipment. And then with that equipment, hooray, huzzah, we'll be able to take better care of everything. Up. Under the sunflower. Oh, sunflower, come on. I do not want this sunflower head getting in here. So I did use a tomato twist to help this eggplant go up, up, up. And I like the idea of leaving kind of this main part. I'm gonna prune it not as hard back as I did these branches down here. But hopefully that'll help it. And once I open this up, because it's got flowers on it, it looks happy. The other one I need to deal with because it's just like falling over. So that one I'll prune really hard and we'll see what we can get it to do. Honestly, this side didn't have a ton of weeds. Now the other side, when I get to it, tons of weeds. Looking at this eggplant, oh, look at it. This thing is stressed. It is not happy. A lot of people will ask me like very specific like troubleshooting questions like, how do I deal with blah, 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 blah. And my method is always, if it wants to grow, it'll grow. And it's either the plant's done for the season or something's wrong, like missing, right? Because healthy plants can handle some insect activity. They're fine. So for me, it's probably getting way too much shade, which not surprised. And it's probably just that. It's probably just the shade factor. And because it's not as hot at the beginning of the storms, the daily storms, so that cools down this area so well. So we aren't really, while it's probably not like its most ideal temperatures, it shouldn't be as stressed. It went through just as hot temperatures. I think we just have a light problem. So we need to open up a canopy and do that really soon so it can have the energy to fight off all these bugaboos who are coming in to eat it. So just squish all them in there. So I think this looks nice. It's very, I know you guys can see it a little bit. It's very twiggy, but I think once we get some light on it, this will be happier. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with this. This is good. It's definitely, you know what, I mean, this is a clear sign that like it's not happy about light, is that like you see how much it's stretching and just putting leaf energy up at the top. That's a good sign to say like it's not happy about the light in this situation. So that's how you can kind of, when you discuss what's going on with your plant, you can say, I see you're getting very leggy, you must be needing light. This is a jalapeno. I don't know how much I want to prune this back. It looks like it defoliated itself, i.e. it lost a bunch of its leaves on its own. Got some snail activity on it. Same thing, look, lots of bugs on the bottom. I think this thing's just not happy, so we're gonna make it happy by getting rid of some of this extra leaf stuff. And we're gonna, oh, we got a whole jalapeno right here. Ooh, I mean, but hopefully better. Even my Cubanelles are looking really leggy, but we're still getting really nice harvest on it. But they are starting to get leggy. Yeah, this thing just needs to, and I think because this arch is also filling in right behind me, it's just really blocking a lot of the light they were getting. We need to get more light. This is the part that I've been dreading. Do you see this weed? Ugh, bad. This is all me. This is my fault. I saw it and then I kept going like, I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it. And then I never got it. It looks like it's got runners. That's annoying. No! Jeez Louise. Do you see this? Oh my gosh. That root system is terrible. Ugh. Again, I'm sure it was doing something good, but no, that's bad. This is what happens when you don't keep up with weeding. You get a little thing like this, and then it steals all your dirt. So I think what I'm gonna do with the rest of this section, because this is the weediest section right here, is I'm gonna pull and knock down the really tall stuff, and then I'm gonna remulch it, because it's just so out of control. And I think this is my lesson learned, is that doing like green onions and stuff, it doesn't really fill the space well and doesn't give that shade blocking that I really need for down in here, since I'm using Sunshine Mimosa to really be my like natural mulch in the area. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll come and I'll add like a light mulching, but I will knock a lot of this back before I do that. Man, that just took out like a whole bunch of soil. Because I used to have some green onions in this section right here, but I mean, I can barely see them. I think what I'll just do is I'll grab a bucket, I will pull those, and I will replant them somewhere else. But this is not, like, I'm gonna end up destroying roots for existing plants that I would like to get a harvest off of. Though my okra is not doing very well right now because I'm just shaded out too much right now. Man, I gotta really do something about this. This is not good. Well, you guys keep going, right? Bit by bit, we'll get it back. We'll make it better. Recruited some help from Ben, and I'm gonna just take all those weeds and put them in this trash can, but I need to get all the old dry cuttings and weeds and whatever from last year out of there, which this probably would have made more sense to do in the cool time of winter, but that means you have to plan ahead, which I didn't do. I just weeded a bit of the base here, and I've been just pruning back, you know, a lot of this Everglades tomato, but I'm not taking it all the way back. My new Everglades tomato plant's down there. So I'm not taking it all the way back. I do want the Everglades tomato to go on, but I do want to remove a lot of this just like dead material that's hanging here. Some of it I'll just throw on the ground, and then I'm just pulling whatever weeds I can find, though some of the weeds are just Cherokee black beans that fell. So I'll keep cleaning this up, but then what I'm gonna probably come do, and that's what I was talking to Ben about, is that we may need to just relay a light level of mulch in here throughout the entire vegetable garden, not like a 3-6 inches. I'm talking about like a 1 to 2 inch, just because there are some plants that have tiny seeds that have been getting in here, and then I can just relay soil where I want it for any of the new plants. Though, since I have a lot of established plants going into most of fall, I'm not worried about it too much, but it'll just give it a cleaner look. The sunshine mimosa will pop up back through it as we keep going. Sorry, I'm like really itchy from the plants. But this is gonna just give me some more protection from all these weeds that I really don't want growing here. For lots of reasons. I mean, just, yeah. Especially because, you know, this is my front yard. And while some of these weeds, you know, some people may talk about like doing some chop and drop, and that they're probably representing a deficiency in the soil, which valid, totally agree. It still is like front and center when it comes to our neighborhood. So I do want it to maintain a very tidy look up here. So I just am trying to play with that balance of like the most permaculturally beneficial way to do this, and then also like keep it aesthetically pleasing for neighbors to not get too stressed out by the look. So I think it'll help once we do the native landscape project in front of this, because it won't make this part like the ground part as obvious. But I do need to do a better job weeding when we get into summer next year. I did not stay on top of that very good. I feel like I did really good in the raised bed garden, and I did really good in the wildflower garden. And then like this area, I don't know, I just kind of was like, eh. So lessons learned. Be better next year. I'm gonna move this into the shade so it doesn't overheat from the sun. Wait a minute. Yeah, what? Look. What? What?
We were getting flowers.
What? What? Wait, come. See. Wait, what? Ben's been pruning the tree, and apparently we had gotten flowers. And they must, where were these?
They were over here, kind of near the bananas.
Oh, let's like get a pretty picture of one of these. I have been waiting for 5 years for these things. Ah! And the one branch that had the... But we got them. That means next year. Yeah. Next year. But these things are, oh, they're so pretty. Okay. Do we see any more?
I'm looking, but not so far.
I'll come out here in the middle of the road. Man.
Oh, wait, yep.
We do?
There's another over here.
Oh.
Stand right here where I am.
That. Sorry.
Looks right through those banana leaves. You see?
Oh. Oh, I do. I see them way up high over there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see them, but there is another one way up there. Ah, yes. The beginning of the true vision of our flowering trees, which was always the jacaranda in the back will be the first one to bloom annually. Then the cassia in the front with its yellows will come next, and then the ponciana third. And both jacaranda and ponciana, once they bloom for the year, they can put on like smaller flushes of flowers over and over, especially in our hot summers of 10A, zone 10A. So this is super exciting. Like, you don't even know, like the jacaranda is 5 years old. I think this is 5 years old. The cassia, I think, is like 4 years old, because I think my youngest was born. But this is super exciting. Okay, so I just finished up my first tunnel. I cleaned the inside, I cleaned that side. This side wasn't too bad, it didn't need much on the outside. And then I pulled the weeds down at the base on both sides. And then what I did a lot in here was trying to clean up the tunnel just so you can see it's easy to get through. And then I just kind of worked some of the beans and the loofah and the tomatoes so they were growing in the right direction. But I didn't get everything. And there's a reason why, because we'll be using it in next video, like this right here. So this is a really nice stem that's not in a great location, but I'm gonna cut this off when I'm ready to propagate tomatoes. So this is one of the Parks Whopper. I don't think this one made anything, but I'll give it another try, because why not? I mean, otherwise, who cares? I mean, just... But because I've got a nice cutting. That's really why I'm gonna try it again. But things like the Bonnie's Original, I went and I just like completely just killed it. But what we'll do is we'll take cuttings from these things, but not right now because I'm not ready to propagate it this moment. So this will be in the way. Okay, so here is our second arch, and this is the one that's really bad. You can see just almost the entirety of the side, the Everglades tomato just, it died. It died, and that's really, this is all this, which is what Ben's helping with right now. So I gotta clean this up just to get rid of all the dead material. Also, it's not cute looking. Clean up this Everglades tomato because it looks okay, but some parts of it don't look so okay. Aw. Butterflies like flying through here. So I'm gonna clean up all these, and then some of these I'll leave just like I will on the other arch, just because they're ones I want to propagate into other areas, not necessarily this area. But it looks like this lemon boy has some potential for better cuttings, so that's good. Looks like I completely lost the grape tomato here. Okay, got this arch clean, weeded both sides at the base, so we're ready for planting seeds in that one. I'm gonna come back to this pepper bed and try to tackle it one more time. And then I do need to dump mulch, whether I do it in this video or not. I might just do it outside of filming. A lot of that nasty weed got in on the edge right here, the one that looks like the sunshine mimosa, all along kind of this edge area. So I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of relaying mulch all throughout this garden, because basically this way on, we're pretty good other than this one section of the pepper bed, but all along the edge, I think maybe more driven by the fact of the landscaping company, and since we're not gonna have them really in here anymore, I think what I'll do is I'll just really push and suppress weeds this way and over there, and I'll do some right here, and then with mulch, I'm sorry, didn't complete that thought. And then that kind of just puts it in a place where I can start putting in, creating some starts and planting seeds for fall. Because I really wish I would have done this like 2 weeks ago, but life always happens, and so we just keep working with what we got. Yeah. So I'm feeling a little bit better right now. I was feeling really overwhelmed actually when I was starting this today, and actually even leading up to this, because the weeds I had in this section and over there were really getting to me, that I was gonna end up having to like reset the entire vegetable garden, and I really hadn't planned on doing that this year. We've talked about this so much. That's why I've tried to get native ground covers in the area so that I don't have to lay so much mulch. And I was like, I felt like I had really screwed up by not pulling weeds. But I reflected, and what I'm doing today is actually making me feel a little bit better. One, because Ben came to help me with the tree so that we could get that done today. But the other piece was that, you know, we had the cleanup from last year still in that 30-gallon trash can, and we hadn't done anything with it, and I had no plan for it. And so burning it today, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll just use those ashes as kind of like a natural fertilizer for the garden. That'll be good. And I was like, and now that I'm using it again, I'm like, oh, why don't I just, going forward, like I just have a barrel that's for all these like invasive type weeds that I'm worried about the seeds and I don't want to add to my compost pile. That becomes the thing. We'll let it dry out, and then a couple times a year when it gets kind of full, we'll just burn it. And then we don't have to worry about seeds coming back and ruining the area. And we just have, you know, we have some stuff to put back in. Because I know the thing is with weeds is that they are often a symptom of something that's going on, because healthy plants will naturally block it out. So like my pepper here should be really nice and shrubby, and it should be harder for other plants to grow around it. But because it's not, other things can easily get in and really take off. And that's okay, because we went through summer and I know that. But what can often be is that those represent nutrition deficiencies with your weeds. Your weeds aren't the nutrition deficiency, but they're often like Mother Earth, nature, how God designed all this. Like it's very interesting because like they can represent what that area really needs. So I know that. So when you take a weed out, you're actually even taking some of the nutrition that like it brought up from deeper soil, or it's trying to help with erosion in the area. It's always trying to do something. So by putting it in the barrel and being able to burn it and bring it back into this area, because I think most of this is representing nutrition issues and light issues, that this will help this area flourish in the long run, which makes me feel better. And also having a process so I don't have to think so hard. So if I'm coming through and I can't just like pull a weed and just drop it immediately, like my fire bush, it didn't have seeds on it, so I don't really care. But a bunch of these have seeds on it, and that's when I started to get into kind of this like paralyzed mode. So I just want to share, because if you're in a similar spot and you're like, well, I don't want to add these to my compost, and you have some weeds that are very prolific with seeds, like maybe you just need to get like a small trash can, maybe not as big as mine, or you get one as big as mine and you have it, and that's so that you can have like maybe a little burn pit, something. Or I know like David the Good has, like you could maybe put it in the swamp. I don't know, actually I think he said don't put it in the swamp water. So just some ideas, not saying it's a perfect solution, just throwing out different ideas, because that's what I'm going to do in the near future, and maybe that'll work for you too. So I'm feeling better. Let's go prune big time on our pepper front. So here's the crazy thing, this area, it wasn't actually that many weeds. It was just a few weeds that had gotten like really big. Huh. In my head, it was gonna be a lot more.